Ken Holland and former Toronto Maple Leafs. Name a better match than that. This is Dolany TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel today as we get set to talk about something Kurt Levens wrote about in his 9 Things article that I think has piqued a lot of folks' interest on a Sunday morning in oil country. If you're new to the channel, what I want you to do right now, though, before we get going, is I'm going to take this time, get right in front of you right now, so as we have lots more time to talk about it later in the video, is simply put, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. I'm pacing towards 10,000 subscribers. Really think I could do it this month, and I can only do it with your help. That said, too, if you're returning and you like the prospects of this video, leave a like on the video. All right, friends, Luke Schenn. Right, I told you I wanted to get to it right away because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Luke Schenn of the Vancouver Canucks. Yes, the Oilers reportedly in on acquiring Luke Schenn, $850,000 cap hit. So obviously for that numbers, you can't really complain about getting a stable, able NHL lineup body. But for the Oilers, there's a lot of complication to this, and there's some things that I think should scare Oilers fans away from Luke Schenn, other than the fact that it is Luke Schenn. Now, to Luke Schenn's credit, he is a 2-time Stanley Cup champion with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And if you really follow Twitter at all, anyone that's kind of talked about this Luke Schenn to the Oilers proposal that Kurt Levens put forward in 9 Things today when it comes to the Oilers looking to deal at the deadline, if the Vancouver Canucks indeed do fall off like they started the year, well, here's the thing, is anyone with a realistic idea of how this is going to shake out would say, you know what, the Tampa Bay Lightning have a much better chance of acquiring Luke Schenn than the Edmonton Oilers do. That would just be the realistic view of it, simply because if Tampa Bay wants to load up and go again, they're going to get the band back together and get the guys that have done it for them already, because it's worked twice before and gotten you to the finals the other year. So that's where for the Oilers, got a little competition in the market, and that's where problem number 1 is for me. Problem number 1 for me is the risk of an overpay in terms of a trade on a guy like Luke Schenn. I'm sorry, I don't care what he's done since he left Toronto. I don't care what he's done anywhere he's been. I really don't care even what he's doing this year. It's Luke Schenn, and outside of Tampa Bay, I don't think you can really say any organization goes out there and wins with Luke Schenn. Just a picture on which teams he's been on since being in Toronto. He's been in Philadelphia, 2012, 13, all the way to 16. The LA Kings in 16, the Arizona Coyotes, the Anaheim Ducks, Vancouver, and Tampa Bay. Now the thing here is we're 2 years removed from Luke Schenn being in Tampa Bay, and the man is now 33 years old, soon to be, no, actually he just turned 33, pardon me, I thought I was reading that wrong. I thought that was January, not November, but you get where I'm going, right? So he's 33, and for the Oilers, yeah, is there a need that he fills? I think there is. I think 100% you could argue that Luke Schenn does fill a hole within the Oilers until you realize he's a right-hand shot defenseman. And you know how Jay Woodcroft and the Oilers staff have, even in the Dave Tippett era, like to have lefty-righty on the ice at all times. Well, I don't see in any world where you're taking Philip Broberg out for Luke Schenn and playing Schenn on the left side and then Barrie on the right side, because I don't think that really improves matters on the back end for the Oilers. However, the thing is, if this trade happens, in my opinion, you want one scenario in which this trade happens. Simply put, it is one of those situations where there's already been another move made, right? The Oilers are in on Klingberg. The Oilers appear to have to get rid of Tyson Barrie in any trade that involves any salary, like a Jacob Chychrun or an Erik Karlsson or anything like that, right? Any of the other names we've talked about outside of simply Luke Schenn to this point involves giving up some substantial salary. And as it is, Cody Ceci is a top pairing defenseman on the Edmonton Oilers. Tyson Barrie is playing on the third pairing. I think if you're replacing a defenseman on the Oilers this season, it's going to be Tyson Barrie. And you know what? The spot that Philip Broberg currently holds could be up for grabs as well, but you're more than likely not replacing him with a right-hand shot defenseman. So that's where, as you sit, okay, well, you're taking away a power play specialist in Barrie to add Luke Schenn potentially at the deadline. Tyson Barrie's going out in a forward trade, going out in this package with Puljujarvi. We've talked about crazy scenarios for Tyson Barrie more times than I can count already this year. And the worst part is it's only going to keep heating up as long as I keep keeping up with the news. But here's where I think the question becomes in terms of why Luke Schenn and why I'm not sold on it at all is his penalty killing is obviously one thing we'd be appreciative of, right? A 6'2" defenseman out there, 220 something playing on the penalty kill. Yeah, that'd be a big get for the Oilers, and even 5-on-5 playing on the penalty kill. But when you look at it here for Luke Schenn, so far this season, it looks like he has played the most minutes on the penalty kill of his career, just looking at the Corsi for and the Corsi against. And that's per 60, I guess you could say. I need to find the ice time on the ice and stuff. But as it currently plays out, Luke Schenn gives up, on average, 15.7 goals per 60 shorthanded. So 1 out of every 2 penalty kills Luke Schenn is on the ice for, technically speaking, if he's on the ice, right, in 4 minutes a game, I guess. Technically, sorry. So you're seeing, you do math it out, I guess, if he's on the ice for 4 penalty kills against, you've got a chance that he's going to give up a goal, which means you're still operating at 75%. And for the Oilers, that just is not good enough right now. The one thing that I will kind of try to bring up is the 5-on-5 close situation. And right now, he is a positive in the situation where the game's separated by a goal or kind of one up, one down situation. He's at a 1.8 on ice goals for per 60 versus a 1.0 goals against per 60. So, yeah, that's where we sit right now with it for the Oilers. Is that's your possession metrics you need on a guy like Luke Schenn. And I mean, I could bring up a ton more stats. I absolutely could. We look to here where Luke Schenn's sitting here. I had a stat. I'm looking for it. This is where usually the part of the video goes, but the same rate too. Actually, there was one last possession metric I need to show you. Is a 72% on ice save percentage when Luke Schenn is on the penalty kill. This is concerning simply for one reason. The Oilers already have problems saving the puck, and now Luke Schenn would come in. If this number holds true, which it probably doesn't, 72% is very, very low, but if it holds true, he comes in as a supposed answer to being the rough and tumble defenseman that keeps pucks out of your net, and especially short-handed. He simply does not do that. And when you add in the Oilers' goaltending troubles of Jack Campbell and shaky sometimes Stuart Skinner, you've got a situation that just really does not add up for the Oilers. However, Luke Schenn at 5-on-5 is having a pretty good season so far. He's had 8 points plus 7, 2 goals, 6 assists. You know, he's had 17 minutes and 42 seconds time on ice. So other than when he's shorthanded, he's been an effective player for the Vancouver Canucks. So if you want a saving grace for Luke Schenn, it is simply that he's been not the worst player 5-on-5. And secondary too, he's also been a guy that's been on a bad Vancouver Canucks team. Right? You've just suffered through 9 minutes of me telling you 2 things that absolutely disqualifies Luke Schenn in my mind. However, I think there is merit to it, but again, are you willing to give up Tyson Barrie and his prowess on the number 1 power play in exchange for Evan Bouchard taking that role, Luke Schenn coming in on that back end? But all in this is anytime you force Tyson Barrie out, what else are you getting? And that's my question. Is you can go get Luke Schenn all you want to add to the defense. It's not going to make a difference unless you give him a lineup spot every single night. And the only way to give him a lineup spot every single night is to give up Tyson Barrie to somebody else. What are you giving up? And what else are you giving up? And what are you getting back in a Tyson Barrie deal? This is where it comes, right? You can play about crazy trade scenarios. You can talk about, oh, we should acquire this guy. But when you look at the positional roster and how it lines up, is simply put, do you add something to the left side in lieu of Tyson Barrie via trade, and then all of a sudden you add in Luke Schenn for even, you know what, the stupid part is it's going to be a second round pick if he keeps playing the way he is. But right, get a second round pick for Luke Schenn and give up Tyson Barrie and something else for Jacob Chychrun or Erik Karlsson or who knows who at this point, right? There's a whole bunch of things. Gavrikov's one that you could do. There's a ton of things the Oilers could do here. And I think actually going back to it and thinking about it here, that's something I didn't think about entering this video. Sorry, there's sometimes things, right, you game plan how a video is going to go, but there's sometimes things that you just simply do not think about. And I've already done the video for Gavrikov when there was really no trade rumors other than Mark Spector spitting out a name on Twitter because he likes him. But Gavrikov and Schenn, I want you to do your research today on those two players, and you get back to me and tell me how much better of a pairing that would be for the Oilers on the third pair as opposed to right now Broberg and Barrie. Just let me know. Let me know your thoughts. I'm not saying it is better. I'm not saying it's 100% better. I'm not saying it's worse. But let me know what your thoughts on that scenario would be for the Oilers. And then let's actually discuss this Luke Schenn stuff, because then it kind of, the roster pieces moving around kind of makes a little bit more sense. Folks, I'm Tyson. This is Stolany TV. Kurt Levin's giving us stuff to talk about on a Sunday morning. It's a dang old given. I am going to go get breakfast in me. And then we're going to talk later on today about Jesse Puljujärvi and a trade update that we got last night from Elliot Friedman on 32 Thoughts on Hockey Night in Canada. I am up on out of here.